Welcome back to the studio. Last month we got the lions ready to join the ark and keep the rest of the animals company. I'm sure they're very excited about that. This month I think we're going to do a happy hippo. That will be very nice to do, and we're going to get started with that right away. I'm going to go ahead and put the lion on the ark. And I'll bring our hippo over. This again is going to be a pretty simple block, and I'm going to go ahead and pull out our color cover sheet. That's usually the first thing that I do. The color cover sheet is always great for additional placement guide. A lot of times in some of the bigger blocks, there are a lot of shapes that are the same size, but many different colors of them in the kit. There aren't that many of those in these smaller ones, but still the color cover guide can come in handy. The next thing I pull out is our full-size pattern. You can always keep these patterns and then later reproduce this again with your own fabric using either a needle turn or raw edge applique technique by doing fusible yourself. Now I have a dry iron and I'm just pressing out the folds so that those creases don't translate into me misplacing where the pieces go on the applique background. I also have the instructions, which I've memorized, so I'm just going to place that here and put my little paper backings on those so I can get them to the garbage. Next thing I'm going to do is pull out my light box, and then I'll pull you in a little bit closer. I have all of the pieces laid out. I like to get them organized in a way that makes sense. And it isn't so bad with a kit like this, but sometimes with a larger kit you have a lot of pieces, and it just makes sense to have them kind of grouped together in a way that they're going to kind of go when you're putting it on the background. So what I like to do first is anything that's going to go underneath another shape, I'm going to like to do those first. And you can tell because those pieces will have a dotted line indicating that that goes underneath. The nice thing about the pieces is that these are all pre-fused with the Steam 2. And all you have to do is peel the paper backing off the back. That's the first part of this process, is a peel, and then once we get the paper backing off, we place, and once we get all of the pieces placed where we want them, then we can press. I love these little green ears for some reason. Did you know that a hippo is one of the 3rd largest mammals on the earth? I didn't either. I did that one a little fast. I better get his tail done first. Now let's see, we'll do this. But what I learned from the last block is sometimes you can't see some of the other pieces after you get them down. So I'm not peeling the back off of this yet. I'm just going to go ahead and put the eyes and the nostrils on while I can see where they go. These little tiny ultra suede pieces, because they're thicker, they're a little bit heavier. Now I'm going to set this piece aside, and I'm going to do the same for the snout. I'm going to set that here, and then I'm going to put the two little nostrils in place, because those are hard to see as it is, even with the light box. Because the ultra suede pieces are thicker, they're also heavier. And these are the pieces that are most likely to go astray even while you're still working on the project before you fuse it down. So keep an eye on those until you get the whole piece fused. Now I can put my face on. And now I don't know what these little things are. Do they have fangs? Did you know the gestation period of a hippo is 243 days? They're also herbivores. They just love to eat the plants. And there we go, just like that. I'm going to go ahead and switch out my light box for my Teflon pressing sheet, and then we can go ahead and get this fused. I'm drinking strawberry hibiscus tea today, and it's really good. I'm starting off in my fusing process here by misting the fabric. I'm doing a pretty good job of getting it nice and misted. I've got the block sandwiched now between two layers of Teflon pressing sheet. That's really going to trap in that moisture and make sure that it truly activates that fusible web. The heat's going to get in there, but we have to give it time to penetrate through the Teflon pressing sheet and through each layer of the fabric and fusible web, through all of the compound pieces. We also have to be generous with our time where those ultra suede pieces are, because it takes a hot minute for that heat to get through those thick ultra suede eyeballs. And after we fuse this from the top down, I always like to flip the block over and give this process a good go from the bottom up as well. That way we absolutely make sure that we have fused this properly. This is the step you don't want to miss. This is where it all goes down. Years and years later, this is where you would have failed if anything goes wrong, because if you do it right, it's good forever. If you don't do it right, it's peeling off after a washing or two. So Steam 2 on any product, you have to give it steam and give it time to fuse properly. You cannot over fuse Steam 2. If you're getting gumming on your needle, you haven't fused long enough. So I'm going to go ahead and mist this again from the back, and I'm going to iron it again. As long as I can see steam coming up around the sides of the iron, I know there's still moisture in the block, and I can keep pressing. Sometimes I even really press down with the iron to make sure we're really getting good contact between the applique and the background. This hippo is going to be really excited to climb that bridge onto the ark and join all of his other friends, I can tell you that. The hippos are all full. They've been grazing and swimming, and they're all ready to climb the plank, the bridge onto the ark with their friends. And so with that, we're really happy, and we can conclude today's video. I want to thank you for joining us. Remember, I need your vote, sashing yay or nay for all of the blocks. And thanks for joining me and keeping me company. I always appreciate any kind of comment you want to leave. I really appreciate the pleasant ones the most. And until we get to the next block, take care of yourself and take care of each other.